Hey guys, let me teach you one thing about life. And now you have to realize in life, many people want a lot of money. Many people want lots of fame. They want lots of friends. They want relationships. They want everything under the blue moon. Okay. But the thing is, what they really need is their word I. And now the reason for this is because when you do a tornado of I around it, what happens is you realize when you get on the plane, for example, on your private jet and you're all alone and it's just you, you realize that it's just a plane, okay? A private jet is just a plane. And now when you find love with a woman or a man, you realize they can't fulfill you, okay? And when you have a lot of money, okay, when you have a lot of money, yes, you can do things, but it doesn't fulfill you, okay? But what fulfills you in life is something inside of you. It's something that you can do in your life all the time and be able to learn from scenarios and things about life, about whatever it is. But you know that all there is to learn in life is one letter, and that's I. And now when you're using I in a tornado kind of way, okay, you're learning that everything revolves around the word I, okay? And because I is everything and it's your confidence and it's your money and it's your wisdom and it's everything, okay? You have to realize that you have to go deep inside the word I. And when you go inside the word I, you know, you are actually becoming everything you ever want to be inside of yourself. You know, because it's not about the fame, it's not about the money, it's not about fulfilling yourself with other people or whatever it is. It's about being concrete in yourself, being concrete in who you are, you know, knowing who you are, okay? And understanding that there's nothing outside of yourself. There's nothing out there, okay? Like people are going to go and travel space someday, okay? And they're going to try look for their word I. They're going to go and try to search outside themselves for scraps of pleasure or whatever it is. But the real knowledge that you need in your life is your own essence. It's your own word I. And when you understand that you know who you are, okay? Nothing can change that anymore. No amount of information, nothing in the world can basically shape your mind anymore. No one can change you. No one can try to change you. No one can try to do anything to you. You can be in jail, you can be around the world, you can be wherever you want to be. But you know that nothing of that is going to fulfill you except your word I. Yeah, since so I can make all this information, I can give you coaching, I can give you whatever it is that you want. But if you don't look for your word I, then you'll never be fulfilled. You might find fulfillment in information, wisdom, whatever it is, but if you don't know who you are, then none of that ever matters anymore. You understand? Because you are not the sum up of all your thoughts. You're not the sum up of all the information you've been around. You are the sum up of everything that your word I is. You understand? When you find out who you are, when you find out the essence of who you are, when you find out how to be and everything that you ever dreamt of in your life about who you are, when you find out totally that you are the word I, and you spin the word I in your life, okay, and you spin it and spin it and spin it with your word I, okay, you'll find out that no amount of money, no amount of people, no amount of connection with others is ever going to fulfill you. What's going to fulfill you is your word I. And when you're concrete in who you are, you don't really care anymore that you're vaping. You don't care anymore that you're smoking. You don't care that you do drugs. You don't care about anything except yourself. Okay? You care about yourself, but the thing is that you're very confident in who you are. And when you're confident in who you are, people are going to see that. People are going to see that you have something to give, that you have information of some kind. And you're rotating this information inside of yourself. And now you know who you are. And then from that point on, it's like, it doesn't matter if I achieve fame. It doesn't matter if I have a lot of money. It doesn't matter about any of that. It doesn't matter about my experiences. All that matters is my word I. Only my word I matters. And from that point on, it's like no amount of information is ever going to make you smart except your word I. So when you find your word I and you increase it and you're always talking about the word I in your life, you create a frequency. Okay, you create this massive frequency in your life. And this frequency tells you who you are, which is your identity. It's your word I. Okay? And when you spin the word I in your life, you'll be fascinated that everything you ever want to be in your life and your whole being and who you are and what's inside of you and the silence around you and God and everything is your word I. You understand? And then you can see your whole future. You can see your whole past. You can see everything in the present moment. You can see everything right now. And now you're truly living because you're spinning your word I with your hand with a pen and you're doing air writing around the word I. And now you can truly live. You can truly be wise. You can truly give content. You can truly be yourself. You can be yourself now. You can stare at a wall all day in your house for 5 years and you don't have to go outside at all. And you don't have to call Men's Line Australia and you don't have to call Lifelines or you don't have to connect to other people because you're confident in who you are. You don't have to rely on other people. You don't have to rely on anyone except yourself. You understand? And then when you are rotating the word I in your life, now you can start doing things. You can start manifesting. You can start getting richer. You can start doing whatever you like to do. And it doesn't matter if you become rich or whatever you are. It doesn't matter who you become, but you know who you are. And it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how many friends you have. It doesn't matter about anything in life except your word I. And now because of your word I, because that's who you are, which is your word I, once you're spinning that around in your mind, there's no amount of learning that can give you experience. There's no amount of anything in life that can increase your word I except yourself. You understand? And from this point on, it's like now I can create. Now I can do things. Now I can lead the word. I can lead everything in life. I can be myself. I can be naturally myself and I can be very smart and I can even measure how smart I am. Not by how many quotes I've made, not by how many videos I've made, not by how much music I've made, but by my word I. My word I is everything. And when you have your word, then you know who you are. So anyway, guys, I hope that you guys have enjoyed. For me, it doesn't matter how many people follow me. It doesn't matter how many people give me money. It doesn't matter about how many likes, shares, subscribers I have or whatever it is. It doesn't bother me anymore. It doesn't bother me if I ever connect to anyone ever again because I connect to my word I. I connect to myself, okay? I never have to connect with you ever again. I never have to connect with other people ever again. I never need them to talk to me. I never need to go deep into a conversation with them, I never need all this money in my life. I never need anyone in my life except my word I. And I found my word I. And God's always with my word I. You understand? And because of this, now I'm mighty wise. I know how wise I am. I know how much there is to learn in life. I know what there is to learn, and I know how to learn, and I know everything. But I know nothing. Okay? So that's the key to your life. Share it with your friends. Share it with people. And I'll be doing so much content now because I got my word I. And I'll upload as much as I can, and I'll help the world as much as I can. But I always go back to my word I. And I said in a quote, my thinking method is always coming back to the word I. You understand? As fast as possible. You understand? And I rotate it with my pen, doing ear writing with my word I. And this creates a frequency. And then I know who I am. I know how much to learn. I know how much there is to learn. I know everything. But I know nothing. Yeah? And now I know exactly what's inside of me. I know all my cells. I know everything about all my blood, everything. About everything I am. I know how long I'm going to live, and I know when I'm going to die. You understand? I know everything, but I know nothing. And that's the key to life.